This episode of Boss Rush After Dark is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn more about Boss Rush Media's family of podcasts, head on over to bossrushmedia.com or patreon.com/bossrushmedia. Thanks for your continued support.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the network. It's your boy, LeRon, back in the house with my wonderful co-host, the awesome Pat Klein. What's up, dude?
Hello. I'm happy to be here.
Hey, we're happy you're here.
So
We're happy.
we were talking about holes earlier, so would I be the second hole?
You're actually the fourth hole.
Well, I thought I was the fourth hole, but I got announced second after LeRon.
Sloppy seconds. That's what that's what that's all about.
Oh, wait, it can't be.
That's
It can't
the
be.
sloppy seconds.
It can't be sloppy if it's the second hole.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends on which hole it is and how much you ate that day.
And as always, with his wonderful commentary about holes, Corey Derrick.
LeRon, I want to thank you for sending me all these pictures of Halle Berry that I'm just now staring at because...
Hey, it's like a primer for our topic tonight, isn't it?
Oh, man. You're telling me. Might go wake up my wife after this.
You better make sure your son isn't in the bed.
It's like, put on the Catwoman costume.
Do it! I'll print out one of these Halle Berry pictures and cut her face out and tell her to wrap it around her face.
Put this on now. No, don't ask questions. Put it on.
Tell your wife you want her to be Halle Berry for Halloween.
Oh my god, dude! If she dressed up like Catwoman,
hey,
so excited.
Thanks, Pat. Like that's gonna be our topic for the week of Halloween. Like what is one of your favorite
costumes?
Exactly. Yes. Slutty Halloween costumes. There we go. Like we're making it law. Well, that'd be episode 80. That'd be episode 84. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because by the time we record the week of Halloween, it'll be over. Unless we want to talk about it after that week, maybe that's best. So like we don't turn like horny people loose on the streets.
Too late.
Yep. And last but certainly not least in the house of us is the wonderful Stephanie Klimov. Hey,
here I am.
She's the fourth hole.
I am the fourth hole, the fourth and final stop.
So would that be a nostril or an ear hole?
Does a crevice count like the back of a knee pit?
That's home. That's home plate. Come on, like look. If we're gonna talk about if we're gonna do like those innuendos and stuff like that, we got first base, second base, third base, and then home plate.
Stephanie,
and we all know like everybody wants to get to home base.
Yeah.
I'm second.
Oh
base.
wow! Now I just realized I just super objectified Stephanie again. What I always wanted doing this to you. I'm so sorry, Stephanie.
It's okay. I apparently lack the reflex of being offended, but I'm totally not. If anything, I'm flattered. Thank you.
I mean, you know how to work a pole.
Jesus Christ.
I do know how to work a pole, kind of. I'm not very graceful, but I can do it.
Maybe we'll call this episode Polls, and
I'm speaking truth though. Like, just go to her Instagram. You'll see.
Yeah, you can see me spin around.
Polls and holes. Am I right?
Poles and holes. Poles in holes.
That's how you get the pole standing. Stick it in a hole.
Why haven't we done a fans only or just fans? Why haven't we done that?
After Dark is moving to OnlyFans, everybody.
Woo!
Exclusive content.
It will cycle through. Half of it will be like LeRon, like with shirtless, and then I don't know, me on a pole or something. I don't know, and then
sorry to disappoint everybody. I'm actually wearing full sleeves tonight. Sorry to disappoint.
We don't know what kind of pants you're wearing, or if you're even wearing them.
I could pan the camera down for. How's everybody going?
I'm great.
If you're wearing pants now.
I'm great.
Shall I stand up, ladies and gentlemen? Shall I do that?
Everybody's going like this.
Why is everybody quiet?
There's a 50-50 chance that he may be.
I literally read everybody's mind. Everybody's like, "Oh no, please don't."
It's more like, will I have HR called on me? Oh wait, we don't have an HR department. Ha.
I can honestly say that I have never sat in this chair where I stream and host podcasts, and have ever sat in this chair with less than what is normally allowed.
Yeah, he has a
I will
separate
say
chair for
that. Huh?
You have a separate chair for that.
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
And for those that are watching this on YouTube, they get to see Paxel's hole too. Thanks, Paxel.
Purr at that hole, everybody.
Well, well, let's see. It's the middle of October right now. We've got about 1.5 weeks left before Halloween happens. We're not talking about anything spooky tonight, but we are talking about some stuff that's kind of titillating. So let's get into it. So guys, I want to ask you a question, and this is not limited to like one answer. Like you guys can throw multiple answers out here. But for the benefit of our audience that loves like when we talk about stuff like this, I want to ask you guys tonight, like, what are some things that you now know about sex and sexuality that could have benefited you when you first got things started?
Ooh.
Jesus. Well, no pun intended, but knowing the ins and outs of it. But side tangent, side story. You guys are gonna laugh. When I was in 7th grade, when I had like my first like real serious girlfriend or whatever, my one friend Tony, he had just like lost his virginity. He was a year older than me, but and look, we didn't have health class until like
7th.
Until
that means
I think
he was
10th
like
grade.
13 or 14.
Yeah. Well, that's my virginity at 14.
Yeah, 12 or 13 is about the average age of a 7th grader.
Yeah. So, Stephanie's face.
Damn, he was like rolling like shit.
Yeah. He's like he was like, dude, did you know there's a second hole down there? I was like, and like, I was like, oh, neat. That was so fun.
Wait.
It was really fun.
I need just a little bit of clarification.
Mm-hmm. Remember, I lived in a Mennonite community.
Because technically there are 2 holes down there.
I know, but he was talking about
3.
He was talking about the hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, see, we're back to holes again.
And of course, Corey brought it up. Man, where's Matt? Where's Matt when you need him?
Sleeping off what he already did in a hole.
You mean a radiology lab? That
no,
hole, right?
I mean he had a baby.
That is true. Yes.
Been there.
There's one thing I've learned that I wish I did not do, if that makes sense. And that was not bothering to read all the bullshit that's in Cosmopolitan magazine. Because I clung to a lot of that stuff when I was, when I say younger, like I guess late teen. Because I didn't lose my virginity until I was 18 because I was a very late bloomer. And I was just...
You're probably also scared to death of your mom.
Yeah, and I was a late bloomer. I looked like a boy for most of my teenage years because I didn't know makeup, never got my eyebrows waxed, didn't even know what a thong was. I just was so sheltered, and I don't know, the perfect storm of being sheltered, having super strict parents, and being ugly, just all together late, which is fine, honestly, because looking back, half the partners that I've had, I probably could have gone without. It just, anyway, just Cosmo, it just confused me more than it helped me. because half the articles back then were just interviewing a bunch of young dumb guys about what they liked, and I'm like, I don't know, what does this all mean? And I think it set all these expectations of what sex is supposed to be like, how you're supposed to perform, almost like making like a guideline of like how to put on a fucking show. Like, I just wish I never put that garbage in my brain, because it made me overthink all the time. And then just, I feel like, unless you're super lucky, the first time you ever have sex, and maybe the first few times you have sex, it's not going to be stellar. It's going to be
It's
awkward.
never glorious. It's
It's
never.
not. So not only was it awkward, it was me overthinking things. So it's just, I wish what I know now is, don't bother fucking reading this garbage and just go with the
For us men out there, like porn definitely like ruins the experience for us.
that might be something that I thought of today that we can table for another after dark topic, is like talking about porn, because I'm not like anti porn, but I met men, I'm sure there's women out there too, where they consume so much porn where I do feel like it actually negatively impacts sex life. But anyway. Actually, vice versa. I feel like I would have benefited watching porn sooner. I feel like porn would have taught me more than reading a stupid Cosmo magazine. I
feel
did
like
not.
porn taught me how to do, at least like get a woman. I feel like porn taught me the right way to pleasure a woman. More with like lesbian porn, like not the guys that like are just like slobbering all over it, but like just like where you have to tickle and where you have to just like
Look, just spell the ABCs with your tongue, you'll be fine.
Yeah. The average dude in porn like did not do us any favors for teaching us anything.
Yeah, the goal is not to see how far your tongue can go in. We'll just put it that way.
Just giving me okay.
Flashbacks to bad experiences.
Oh yeah, some super awkward things where the only way for me to make it stop was to pretend that I came super fast and be like, "Oh wow, that was great. Okay, you can stop."
Actually, I'm glad you brought up Cosmo though, because because Cosmo was one of the places I used to do a lot of research on for when I was going to write, and things like that. So I usually like peruse through like certain segments of Cosmo, especially the confession section and all that stuff and things like that. And I learned really quickly. I was like, man, some of this shit is really outlandish, or some of this shit is really like like people that don't know their own bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, speaking of awkward stories, I lost my virginity on a trampoline.
Yeah, I remember that story.
And was
I remember that story too. Yeah,
I was not expecting what happened, and then it happened, and I don't even think I knew what happened until like we were done. And it was fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember losing my virginity, and I remember it being pretty awkward. And this is after like, because I know I was exposed to porn before I was exposed to like my first encounter with the woman, and yeah, it was still awkward. Like you thinking you just replaying in your brain what they did in the video you saw, and you think it's all easy and everything. And no, it's not. No, it's not. Like for the most part, like. When you're both virgins, nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what kind of feels right, what's supposed to feel good, and everything is kind of shocking, and like the average guy when he loses virginity, like it's like a blink of an eye and it's gone. like depending on what age, for men, depending on what age you lost your virginity versus what age you started masturbating, your masturbation experience went a lot longer than your actual like first time having sex did.
Yeah, I remember my first time having actual sex, and when I say the word actual sex is because the first guy couldn't. Anyway, the second guy, he wasn't a virgin, but couldn't have been that experienced. But he also had what's that thing where you you prematurely ejaculate, you just come too soon.
Premature ejaculation, yeah.
So not only was it just quick because I guess he was young, but it was like quick because of that. So it literally was a couple pump chump, and I kind of thought to myself, I'm like, that's what sex is.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, you see, that's the other problem too. Like men at a certain age, we're so excited to have sex that we're already like 3/4 the way out the gate by the time we actually get to the intercourse, you know?
Well, I mean, I can forgive that, but I think what made it awkward is he got really angry at himself afterward.
That's another thing too. Yeah, I guarantee you, he's a guy that suffered from learning the wrong parts from porn.
Yeah. But it was just awkward. Because he was actually emotionally angry. I'm like, you're making
this never happens. What the hell?
I know. I'm like, dude,
because
relax.
I think, because I think before the internet became prominent. I mean, the internet, of course, is prominent for porn, you know. But before the internet became prominent, now like people can actually like question things, you know, Google it or Ask Jeeves or Yahoo or whatever, you know, and stuff like that. Jeeves. You know, like porn. I'm old. I'm old.
No, I remember Ask Jeeves.
Did you look that up on Netscape Navigator?
Yeah.
Wow.
On your
yeah, on my 56K modem.
I was a web crawler kind of guy.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, before the advent of being able to like research stuff, like, you know, thanks to the internet and stuff like that, you know, like one thing internet porn like taught at least a lot of men is that, like, you know, like sometimes sex lasts like 20, 30, 40 minutes.
And you know what? That is the magic of film editing. That's the magic.
Like, you know what? We are gonna talk about porn in a future topic real soon here because condom magic. 1 minute, 1 minute is not there, and the next minute is there, and it's like, wait, what? How'd that get there? Or how'd that come off?
There's another quick one I can give. I'm sorry it's not that like funny, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like
they're not. This topic isn't meant to be funny.
Oh, I know,
but it is funny, but it's
more informative that men, well, this part's not, you know, kind of obvious. Men hit their sexual peak as far as their drive in their late teens or 20s.
Late teens, whereas women.
Women hit their sexual peak generally in their 30s, which
because men died younger,
I guess. But now that I'm in my 30s, my drive is actually a lot stronger than my 20s, which is now disappointing because the last thing I want to deal with is 20-year-old men to be able to keep up with me. But if I'm dating older men, which I am, it's not like they're not interested in sex, but in my current relationship, I'm constantly badgering for sex, and I'm like, this is not right. This is not right.
It's funny you say that because like there's a 12-year age gap between me and my boyfriend, and my boyfriend literally stopped me one time. He's like, "Hey, why don't you ever start something?" And I'm like, you know, I get it, but I also feel like sometimes when I try to initiate, it's always the wrong time. like he is doing something, or he cannot be bothered, or he is just not in the mood and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? I got ways to take care of myself, so I'll just wait for him to say something, and I'll be ready when he says something. even if I just masturbated 5 minutes ago. And he's like, "Hey, let's go now." I'm like, "Oh, let's do this."
Well, do you guys mind me asking? Because none of y'all are not in your 20s. Do you feel like your sex drive has dipped, or has it been the same?
I feel like mine's dipped. Like, I don't really think about it. Really, you know, I mean, I do, but not like I used to, right? I mean, I'm just kind of like, you know, back in the day, I was like, "Wow, let's do this," and like, you know, all night, whatever.
Because it's like you're readily available, or the fact that you have kids.
I was gonna say, like, kids factor into this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it all goes back to like, okay, so I actually think of this joke a lot that Dane Cook made back in the day. Was like, there's always something.
I remember that stand-up routine. I remember that one.
that he filled like stadiums with that routine. But
yes.
Like he said, there's always something else that a man wants other than sex, and his joke was like he wants a monkey, and they were gonna go on a raid or something. But
yes.
But like I kind of just, I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right at this stage in my life. You're kind of right. I'm looking at TVs right now, and I'm like, doing other things, and it's not that I don't want to, right? But it's like, I kind of think about other things, and we have kids, and it's kind of hard to do that when they're asleep, because my son sleeps in our bedroom because we only have a 2-bedroom house. And it's like, if we do it's out in the living room with blankets on the floor, which is super uncomfortable. And it's like, is it worth the hassle at this point? Like, I don't know.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that we're now of a certain age where for us to get hot and bothered, it's like nice cars, like a lawnmower, a vacuum cleaner, a fucking washing machine.
Yeah, it's
you know what? Honestly, here's a tip for you women out there. Like men are at their horniest when they've just made a big purchase and walked out of a Lowe's or a Home Depot.
Or Best Buy.
Or Best Buy. Depending on what he bought, like, you have a very good chance of jumping his bones, like, once he gets home with that product.
Yeah, I mean, look, if my wife bought me a TV that was like any better than the ones that we have, like, I mean, she can do whatever she wants.
She's getting some at least 2 times that week.
Oh, 2, 7.
Okay.
It's like, we might experiment with
pets. I was being nice. I don't know what your libido's like, Corey. I don't know.
You never asked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so for me to answer your question, I feel like my libido's kind of waned, but at the same time, like, I do feel like I'm always horny. Like, there's always something sexual that I either perceive or can be doing and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if it's because I'm bisexual and, like, I feel like there's opportunities all around. I know I just gave someone a green light to go into that whole, like, bisexual stigma that's out there and stuff like that,
Well, I'm bisexual too, so I'm not helping the stereotype.
Yeah, we're like big walking whores, right? Yeah, like, everything's an opportunity for us and stuff like that. But also, I think it's because, like,
either a hole or a pull for you.
Hey,
yeah, pretty much. And you know what? Mm-hmm. This is something you didn't ask for, but I'm gonna tell it to you. Like I can pitch or receive. So, like, I have fun, and that's not. And back when Corey and Corey, you and I've had what, like 3 1-to-1s, on After Dark, because, like, we don't always have a full panel. But I've even told you, like, one of the cool things I like about myself is, like, I got to a point where I learned to really enjoy my body as far as, like, sex and sexuality goes and stuff like that. So I can have a good time, basically with anybody. If I'm sexually aroused, I can have a good time with anybody. And the cool thing is, like, like, I'm also at an age where, like, like, I care, I pay a lot of attention to their pleasure. So, like, I don't have to, like, necessarily, like, get off, mm-hmm. like the fact that I'm having some type of sexual contact with somebody is enough for me.
Yeah. The other thing too is, like, over the years, like, as I've gotten older, like, I've become more self-conscious about myself, especially because, like, not exercising and being overweight is, like, really a turnoff for me, like, as myself. And, like, it just makes me not want to, because, like, here's the thing. I think my wife is really hot, and I'm like, this doesn't match here. Like, and that's honestly, that's maybe like 35 to 40% of the reason why I started losing weight. Also to be healthier, I guess, and stick around for a while for my kids. But
let me ask you a question, Corey. Are you going to a gym right now?
No.
I guarantee you, when you start working out, like, your libido is going to shoot up like 40%.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, because it's something about men and women, but actually getting that good pump at the gym, like pun intended, that good pump at the gym, like gets you horny.
So that's why the shower is always sticky.
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
That's why the showers always smell the way they do.
Please stop. Please stop.
But just to like go back to that, like I feel better about myself and makes me like more interested in doing more of that stuff now, right?
Yeah.
Not where I want to be, but obviously anytime you reach some sort of personal milestone in that area, or like, get to that, you feel better and want to, do more things because you feel better. So, but yeah, no gym for me. Not yet.
Not yet, at least. I'm legit thinking about getting re-upping gym membership. Oh, by the way, I told you guys this a few weeks ago, and I just want to like just update y'all real quickly. I have a credit score now. I have a credit score now, and so today I was on Amazon, and I was actually looking up some necessities, right? Like some tech necessities, of course, like some additional like USB cables, and like one of the little like plug like charging adapters and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, like. I decided at the last minute I was gonna like look at shoes real quickly because I don't have a good pair of boots and stuff like that. And this has nothing to do with our main topic. I just wanted to tell this to you guys real quick because like I'll forget about it later. But like how like they have the things like Affirm or Klarna where you can like defer your payment and stuff like that. Every time I tried to do that before I had a credit score, I could not get it right. So I was like, just for shits and giggles, like it's $100 worth of stuff I have here in the cart. Let's see if I get it. Boom! I got it. Like no questions asked. So I was like, yay! I feel like a grown up.
Nice.
Now back to the topic and grown up things and stuff like that. One of the things that probably could have benefited me when I was first starting out is knowing about lube. Knowing about lube. I don't care who you have sex with or what you're having sex with and stuff like that. Like, trust me.
What? Did you say what you're having sex with?
Yeah, like I'm talking about toys. I'm not talking about bestiality.
God, no. I thought you were talking about like the first image that jumped in my head was American Pie. The scene with him in the pie.
That's kind of nasty if you put lube in it.
Warm apple pie.
Another movie I've never seen, but that scene is everywhere.
Apple Pie is American Pie is an amazing movie.
I love the American Pie series.
I feel like it kind of lost its. Well, I feel like it kind of lost its luster until like we got to the one where they had their own kids.
Yeah. The wedding, wedding wasn't as good, but then when they go like 10 years later and like history, like. They're no longer the cool people anymore because they're just not up with, current technologies and social standards.
Yeah, but yeah, lube. Like, trust me. Like, that's one thing. I don't know. The very first time I bought lube, like I was like in my mid-20s and stuff like that, and I really thought that was like the dirtiest thing I could have actually like gotten to a checkout line because like we had Astroglide, like I think that's like everybody's first attempt at lube, right? We had Astroglide, which you can buy at Walmart, stuff like that. So like you actually felt dirty like in the checkout line buying it and stuff like. But now like you're at a certain age, whereas like it's almost like it's an item on the grocery list now because despite what people think, the sexual orifices are not naturally lubricating. They don't do enough and stuff like that. You will either hurt yourself or you will hurt your partner.
You're just not doing enough, LeRon.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
You're just not doing enough.
No, I'm not trying to be.
I think part of it is a pride thing too, and makes me think of that scene from Superbad, where the main character is like, I got a condom and some spermicidal lube, and his friend is like, why would you need lube for I don't know, he was going on making fun of him because
I remember the scene now. Yeah
but I think there's a pride thing, getting older, like you said, LeRon, like, hey, lube is a win-win. Like No.
I think I mentioned this. Like, I think it was probably in last week's episode. Like, trust me, guys, lube is your best friend, especially if you have to use a condom. And I say have to because like not every partner is gonna want you to raw dog it. You know, like trust me, like a little bit of lube in the tip of the condom before you roll it on. Trust me, it feels like there's no condom there. Trust me on this one, especially if you're wearing the proper condom. Like, you can't buy one that's too big, and definitely don't buy one that's too snug.
Don't want to cut that circulation off.
Just because you want to impress someone doesn't mean you need to buy the Magnum Double XL. Okay.
By the way, the weirdest thing I've ever heard of is like the people that roll it all the way down to their like over their balls. Like, that is the weirdest thing.
What? How is that possible?
You've never. It's possible because condoms are longer than people think. I can put a condom on damn near my entire forearm.
If you really stretch
the average condom is longer and stretchier than people think it is.
Well, yeah, just watch the 40-Year-Old Virgin, or remember he was like, right? He's like, does it go over the balls? And he's like putting on his hands, like, I'm Aquaman.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's funny. Like, I've gotten to a point where I feel like learning about sex is like probably one of the funnest things I've done as an adult. Learning about sex, not actually having sex, learning about sex. I've learned so much. Like, there's so many archetypes of sex. Like, like there's people who actually get off on knowing that somebody else is smart. there's asexuality, like there's different types of asexuality too, right? Like people think they just do not have a sexual stimulus, and then they find out that asexuality has like different facets of it, where like you do get sexual stimulated. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Thanks to the show Heartstopper, which, by the way, Stephanie, like we got to watch Red, White, and Royal Blue. We got to watch that. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I also want Pat and Corey to watch that, but I'm not sure. It might be a little too gay for those guys. Might be.
Whoa. What are you saying about me?
Corey, you have an open mind. You do have an open mind. I appreciate that. Pat, I'm not making any judgments or anything. We just have not spent enough time, on shows enough for me to know like where your comfort zone is with queer shit.
I watched Angels in America, but I thought that was kind of weird.
Okay.
He's like, what's that?
I am actually. Pat, did you mention something about relevant to the topic? I don't think I don't remember if you did.
Well, I mean, I kind of mentioned things about how, like, I learned from porn, but I'm also like, I don't have that many sexual partners anymore. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like I have a lot of knowledge. I just don't have a lot of practice in the knowledge anymore.
Pat, when you said you don't have a lot of sexual partners anymore, I just imagined you like maybe 20 years ago walking around in some sort of like purple suit with a cane that you like, walking in like Bruce Wayne into a fancy restaurant with three women on your arm.
Better looking and skinnier and had hair 20 years ago.
It's fair. Me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why I wear hats.
Also, it's probably more mentally sane then. I don't know. I'm weird.
No, not
something
weird.
Else.
Life.
Something else that would have benefited me, like when I first got into sex. Like having sex with another virgin is not the thing you think it is. It is not. Like I don't know why it's more men than women that think this, but for some strange reason, like older people think like the Holy Grail is hitting a virgin. No.
Isn't that like changed now? I feel like anytime anyone hears someone might be a virgin, it's like no, like
yeah. It's almost like the same. It's almost like the same thing where I won't hook up with someone who's not legally old enough to drink.
Oh yeah, I remember those days where you were like with your friends that were like 24, 25, 26, and then you had that 19 or 20-year-old tag along that was like sipping on water all night because they weren't allowed to be there, or like a Diet Coke.
It's like a Taylor Swift song. We are never ever getting together.
I feel bad though. I don't think I would not have sex with someone who is a virgin because I feel like that's so discriminatory. But like, it's okay. I'll show you.
See, I think that's the woman in you. I think that is.
Well, no, more like it's okay. Like we'll figure it out together.
Yeah. My first time was with a more experienced woman, so she, she ended up doing most of the work.
Well, I guess my problem is like I've run across enough inexperienced people to be like, no, like I mean that's something that'll get me in my headspace real quickly because it's like I'm literally thinking about like what's going on with them, as opposed to like just us being in the moment. So that's one of those things that'll put me in my own headspace, and then I'm not gonna say I lose my erection at that point, but it's more like it's gonna take a lot more stimulus to like get me to finish.
I don't know. I've lost out on opportunities with women because they find out in advance I am less experienced with women than I am with men. I'm not saying I have zero experience, but I have less experience. As soon as they find out, most of them are like, "No, I'm good." I'm like, "Oh, how?" It's like that whole like.
That's kind of weird.
No, it's happened to me on many occasions. It's almost like trying to go for a job, but you need experience. But how can you get experience if you can't get a job?
If you have, yeah, exactly.
It's one of those
I get
things.
that. I get that, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like the lesbian experience is a little more like all inclusive. If that makes sense, it's more open door than it is on the gay side of the community because man, like oh my god, like for all our queer listeners out there, like you guys know how judgmental another gay man can be. They're either judgmental or they're quick to jump in the sack. There's no in between, and it's and we hear. And we basically hear about lesbians where 2 dates they've already moved in together and they have a cat.
Well, yeah, as far as moving quickly, yes, but I've experienced significantly more sexual rejection from a woman than a man. So I don't know if that says anything.
I've experienced far more sexual rejection from a woman than I have a man, but that's because they find I'm very transparent about my sexuality, especially more so with women. Like I need people to know front and center that I'm bisexual. That I find both men and women attractive, and 90% of the women are immediately turned off. Like they some of them don't even want to be friends. After that point, yeah. Yeah, whereas like gay men, for example, gay men don't have that big of a problem with it, but what they will try to do is they'll immediately try to say, "Oh, you're just gay. You just don't want to admit it." I'm like, "No, because trust me, I could walk out this door right now and have sex with a woman."
What if Halle Berry was out there, LeRon?
Forget the dude. Like, he's wasting my time. He is literally keeping me from. I hope my boyfriend understands that Halle Berry is in the top 5, if not the top 3 of my hall passes.
Oh man, dude. LeRon, I don't know. That whole time you're talking, I thought about this clip. I'm sure you've seen it before, but I'm putting it in the chat.
I gotta see this. Can I describe it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen it on a TikTok reel.
Yeah. Yeah, from SVU, from Law and Order Special Victims Unit. I remember this.
I have relationships with women and sex with men. And Ice-T's like, I'll tell you something, you're gay. Oh man.
Ice-T just he was absolute in that one. It was like he didn't even like do bisexual. He just went straight to gay.
Yeah. That clip is so funny. Every time I watch it, it's so funny. I don't know if that's like bad for a straight white dude to watch that, but it's so funny. It's so funny. It makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, the Law and Order Special Victims Unit iceberg is a interesting one. Let's say the least, because like I'm gonna sound really fucked up when I say this, but I typically watch SVU because I have an interest in sex crimes. That doesn't mean I'm trying to go out and commit them. I'm just trying to see every facet of it. So like, you know, at whatever point it doesn't happen to me. You know, like we've all heard the horror stories where like we go to hook up with somebody, we get roofied or whatnot, we wake up in a bathtub full of ice, missing a vital organ, you know. Or stuff like that, you know.
If that happens, they weren't into you for your body, or they weren't in for you.
They were into you for your body.
They weren't for you for your body, not for the way you wanted it to be.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and you know, like also like you know, like I've been sexually assaulted, so you know, like I kind of like try to understand the pathology behind it and stuff like that, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah, like SVU is like interesting, like it's a case study for me. Let's put it that way. So, and you know, it's crazy. I feel like after 23 seasons, like wow, they haven't ran out of shit to talk about.
Nope.
Is it 23 seasons? What season? What season is it?
What season shows on like
SVU on?
Man. Their kids are starting to.
23 seasons. This is the 24th season that's airing right now.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy. Speaking of crazy, I think my wife my daughter took something off my desk. Neat.
Just now?
No, at some point. I just didn't notice until now. It's all good though.
Is there anything else I can think of? I have hooked up some older women and they've worn me the fuck out. So yeah, that was something else I was not prepared for.
We were, LeRon, before we started recording, we were actually talking about how like we were kind of attracted more to older women than, you know, younger women at this point.
I am. I am. Like there's no denying it.
Yeah. Good times.
I find that interesting because I always, I hate, no offense to you guys, I always kind of look down on men for being so shallow that they wouldn't want to be with an older woman just because generally we don't age well the way men age well. So they would always want to date younger for the youth and the perkiness and stuff like that.
Age well. What are you talking about, Stephanie? I'm 28 years old. What are you talking about?
28, huh?
When men get older, I feel like they look distinguished.
They get more distinguished, yeah.
But when women age,
that's a line.
Unless they get a ton of. Now, I'm not talking plastic surgery. So, sans plastic surgery, when women age, I don't think we age distinguished. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I see way more older men, younger women than men with older women. I'm not saying there's clearly cougars, but
I'm gonna name some older women that I am definitely attracted to. Halle Berry for sure. Like she's Salma Hayek.
Mm-hmm.
Are these all women that have never had plastic surgery?
I can't say none of them. I can't say.
Salma Hayek has said she doesn't do plastic surgery.
Okay. Let's see who. Shit, I just had a whole list of them, and went out of my head so quickly. Who else do we have here?
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei. Yeah. Who else? Ming Na. Shit. Well, I'm thinking about it. Michelle Yeoh. Who else? Shoot. You know what?
Kerry Washington is 46. Did you know that?
I did not know she was.
Can I ask though? Do you guys know any non-celebrity older females that you find attractive?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do.
You know,
I do.
A boss that I worked with.
Okay.
All right, so
you know
all right, so here we go.
I would have loved to have worked under the desk for her.
Woo.
She was older than me, and she was single.
Oh.
All right, so here we go. At 54 years old, Jennifer Aniston.
Mm-hmm.
She's 54. Jesus Christ.
I did not know she was that old. I thought she was in late 40s. I didn't know she was that old. Halle Berry is 57.
Wow.
Jennifer Lopez is 54 years old. Sandra Bullock is 59. Yeah. Did we know Sandra was 59 years old?
What?
Did we know that?
Whoa.
Sandra's
Salma Hayek
been on my list.
Yeah. Oh God, I love me some Sandra Bullock. Salma Hayek is 57.
Charlize Theron is 47. Did not know that.
All these actresses I grew up knowing are now so old.
Lena Headey.
Zoe Saldana is 44.
Yeah, I didn't believe. I couldn't believe she was as old as she was. Yeah. Angela Bassett, 65 years old. Who else?
Rashida Jones is 47.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon is 47.
Yeah, Reese is pushing 50.
Jesus.
Yeah, Heather Graham's got to be up there too.
Man.
Dang.
Spy shagged me.
Okay, so we just threw a whole bunch of women out there. So for and actually, like you didn't say a lot, Stephanie. Like I know some of these that I just say they got to be lookers for you. You know,
the women.
Yeah. Like Ming Na Wen.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Demi Moore still looks amazing.
Julia Roberts is 55.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, I mentioned Jamie Lee Curtis. Michelle Pfeiffer still looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon Stone. Oh my God. Forgot about Sharon Stone. Who else we got? Geena Davis. Well, actually, Geena Davis. I haven't seen Kim Basinger in a while.
Catherine Hahn.
Yes.
That's a mill.
If she said let's, I'm going to finish her sentence by saying go. Mm-hmm. Oh man.
I just found a list of the 51 most stunning women celebrities over 50. I don't know why that's a list on the internet. Heather Locklear is still pretty good looking.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm always happy to be proved wrong. Maybe it's a very old perception that men.
I think.
Oh no, it's still a very normal thing. I just anytime I think about anyone that's young, like within like maybe 10 years younger than me, I just feel gross. It's just kind of,
Well, I can also imagine it being mentally exhausting because I'm trying to think about dating younger, whether it's men or women, like say in their mid-20s. I'm like, I already can't handle that level of immaturity. It's too much.
It's like you're already taking care of one kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's funny about the dynamics of how men pursue relationships and how women pursue relationships because women actually want like I'm gonna say a more experienced man. So usually that means like an older man, and stuff like that, But it's also like just part of our instincts and stuff like that. Like women are looking for like providers, protectors and things of that nature, whereas men are looking for people that can bear us children and stuff like that. So typically men do like age down, as far as what they look for in relationships, and women kind of age up. Like it's almost rare, like when you have like people who actually are like almost in line, as far as age goes and stuff like that.
People, am I right?
Yeah. Is there anything else I can think of? About this topic? Did you guys have anything else y'all want to add to this topic?
Not really. I think I said everything I wanted to say.
I think one last thing that I wish I knew back then was, you know what? I deserve just as much pleasure as my partner does, which back then was mostly men, which is still piggybacking off my second thing because I thought it was used to be just all about, you know.
Let's have a real quick conversation about that. Like, why do we kind of teach our women that it's shameful to think about sex? Why does our society do that? Because I don't understand.
I think to keep them more as a possessive force for a man.
Maybe because like I don't get hung up in body counts, I know some people like their potential like girlfriends or spouses, like they can't have slept with, if it goes like if it can be counted on more than one hand, like that's a turn off for them.
Jesus, sorry.
Well, if a person has that standard, they better not have slept with more people than on one hand. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
right, yeah. I'm like it's one of those situations where it's like are you paying attention to this because it doesn't stack up, because like I would be I'm bisexual, and like I have some double digits, but it's not past 20, and that's the amount of encounters I've had sexually and stuff like that. Yeah, is that considered a high body count? Yeah, that's considered a high body count. But and I would welcome anybody to say like, hey, when's the last time you've been tested? Like when you sleep with that many people,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so like why are we hung up on that for the most part? Because like I mean, yeah, of course, like know your status, but at the same time, like I feel like there's like definitely like a hypocrisy in that, because like in my mind, a high body count means that we should be able to have fun, and like if there's something I'm doing that's not satisfying you correctly, like you at least have the know-how to say, hey, like instead of this, let's do this, because I feel like like once like the clothes come off and like the barriers come down, and I'm talking about the things that keep people like as reserved as possible and stuff like that. I think knowing what each other like likes and is pleasurable, I think that keeps them around a lot longer than like playing this weird ass fucking guessing game. Mm-hmm. And also I'm 48 fucking years old. I don't have time to teach every fucking thing.
Fair.
Man, I thought you were 27.
28.
He said 28. Get it right, Pat.
I said he was younger than I thought.
That was a gaffe when I said 48 just now.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. So I I don't understand like this whole pursuit to keep women chaste and stuff like that. Something that's cringe for me to hear is like whenever I hear somebody refer to someone else as run through. That is like the most cringe statement for me, because technically, like if you want to look at it, I've been run through with the amount of sexual partners I've had in my life, and stuff like that, and that's going to say that, like I have not been married, I've had a few long-term relationships, but for the most part, like I've been single for like I've been single longer in my life than I've been attached to people and stuff like that, so like, yeah, like, I think it's fucking weird, and honestly, I think the mentality of it is a little gross.
That might be an interesting topic to do one day for this, like a more drawn out topic of like how we viewed body counts like back then.
I don't even know what my body count is. I know it's less than 20. And this is taking into the fact that I've had a lot of threesomes in my sexual history.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I just, I think that would be just an interesting topic to kind of.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah, like
someone write it down so we don't forget.
We should definitely pin this to the board. Yes.
What's her body count?
No, not so much. Go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was gonna say I already forgot the topic that we talked about at the beginning of the show.
We talked about holes.
And holes.
No, but we said pin this topic. Oh wait, that was the last show. Never mind.
Yeah, it was Boss Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Get it together, Corey. Gosh.
I'm sorry. It's midnight and I'm tired.
Yeah, it's time to get ready for sleep.
So some upcoming episodes, we're going to talk about body counts and like what's the whole thing about it.
Yeah.
Hole with a WH.
Holes. Don't put it in the wrong hole, everybody.
And then what else? Definitely we're gonna talk about. Yeah, porn. That was the one.
What porn has taught me.
Yeah, like rest in peace, our monetization. like Google is never gonna like give us the green stamp.
We can say adult entertainment.
Hey, I usually like normally when we talk about like intercourse, I'm like super happy adult fun time.
Super happy adult.
I'm at first, I'm not. This doesn't mean I'm ever going to change on this show, but at first I was like fearless with talking about whatever went on in my personal life on this show until I think I texted you guys some guy that I dated like 10 years ago, and it was like this big thing. Texted me out of the blue, out of nowhere, be like, "Hey, I heard one of your podcasts." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, people can actually hear my shit."
Yeah.
What? Someone found you?
I don't fucking care. As a matter of fact, I tell my boyfriend about After Dark all the time.
Oh,
I really wish one day he would just like catch me at dinner, like, "Hey, about that last episode you guys were on."
You should have him on. Have him on.
It's more like I'm pretty sure I've talked about him before, so it's kind of uncomfortable.
The guy that was like, "Hey,"
because we didn't have a very appropriate relationship, so I'll stop there. Anyway,
well,
it was your ex-husband.
Awkward pause after like that one time with that one.
Yeah, I think we just had ourselves an episode.
Yeah,
I think we did.
A mental
all right.
breakdown.
Not
that episode. Sorry.
Oh.
Any closing thoughts?
Make sure you're not allergic to rubber before you put on a condom. They make alternative things.
You mean latex?
Yeah, any rubber, all the rubber.
I bet you were glad when you were able to get married and like use some other like ways of contraception before like you and your wife decided, yeah, we're gonna start trying to have babies.
Yeah.
Just
saying, sheepskin smells bad.
Oof. I can't even imagine. I can't. Even though funny story, like be careful with the type of lubes that you're going to use.
Yes.
Because some of them heat things up, some of them numb things down. So like if you're one of those guys that like to freak out, I'm raising my hand right now. Yes, that can be an alarming sensation when you're trying to do your thing. All right. Well, we are going to wrap this show up. But so I just want to thank everybody for hanging out, listening to us. If you're on the audio version of the podcast or checking us out over on YouTube, this has been another wonderful episode of Boss Rush After Dark. As always, please do yourself a favor, check our show notes. Like you'll find the information for how to get in contact with us, things of that nature. Also, we want your questions. We want you guys to give us some topics to talk about because I don't know, like after 83 episodes, like we're gonna run out of stuff to talk about. Well, we're gonna run out of things to think about to talk about. So like send them our way. Like I think you guys know us by now. We're not shy. We're not. All right. On behalf of my co-hosts here, Pat, Stephanie, Corey, we want to say thank you, good night, and please come back and tune into our next episode of Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the network. Where Corey, you're about to say something.
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, okay. My bad. All right. So just remember, this is the show that we talk about all the stuff that's not always content appropriate for our other flagship shows on the network. So y'all have a good night. We love you. And yes, like, sex can be hard, but we know the right things. We know the right things. It can be very fun and enjoyable.
But be safe.
Good night.
Bye.
Yeah, please be safe. Corey, no puns. No puns. No, not tonight.
No means no.
Not tonight.
No means no. No means no.
Cap your tube so you don't spill your lube.
I haven't heard that one.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Deering, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.